anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
To you everyone, it is the 18th day of July 2024. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer in the company of co-hosts today. Two of them that matter. I no longer call them guests anytime they're here. They're my co-hosts. And maybe at some time you will see them as the substantive host, because I really thought, based on plans that I had, that they would soon be hosting the program for a brief period in my absence. This didn't turn out to be quite the same, but I'll come to them in just a moment. Now, folks, I was reading something on one of the Antigua newspapers that I worked with while I was up there, in the capacity of being the managing editor of them both. One of them I actually founded. And I'm just trying to recall which one that I saw a original story in out of Trinidad, where the water company has been ordered by a court to pay a man several $1,000s, 3 point something million Trinidad and Tobago dollars, which would come to a tidy sum, I think, in US dollars because of leaks that they had, and the leaks caused damage to the man's house. Here is the story. It says, let me get that right. Trinidad Water Authority must pay TT 3.3 million after leak destroys man's house. The Water and Sewage Authority has been ordered to pay almost 3.3 million TNT dollars, which is US 486,000, in compensation to a man from Freeport whose house was damaged by a leaking water main. And it goes on to give the details of that. And it's not the first time that the water company has been ordered to pay fairly large sums of money to people for damage to their property from leaking water pipes and so on. Apparently this went down, it caused what you call that subsidence, of the soil under the man's house, so the foundation, everything got undermined and so on. And they've lost 2 cases like that before. It went all the way to the Privy Council and they lost the case, they lost both appeals and all of that. The Privy Council refused to change the ruling of the lower court, so they found that they were wrong. So when you hear me pleading with the local water company to please, the optics I often say are bad. For you to have people under water restriction in a water emergency, and then for them to see pipes leaking huge amounts of water over several days and weeks. That is one of the reasons for it. Water companies are struggling companies, public state-owned water companies. They're not profit-making. They're not profit-driven. Their purpose is not profit. And politically, no government wants to be seen to be making profit off a water company, because water is considered to be one of the basic and very essential necessities of life. It's something you can't avoid and so on. So people, you tell them pay 5 cents more per gallon of water, and right away it's a riot you're asking for. Even though they'll go and buy the bottled water, 1 liter of that water, which is more than what they'll pay for 1,000 gallons and so on in a month. So, I want to continue appealing to our water and sewage company, Wasco. Watch for those leaks. Don't let them persist for a very long time to be there going on, and do something about them. Because one of these days, you could find yourself in a situation like we see in Trinidad, being ordered to pay a large amount of money. And at the end of the day, who has to pick up the bill for Wasco? It's always the government, because Wasco will never have that kind of money to pay out that sort of compensation. So we can avoid it. I just thought I should mention that. All right, folks, without any further ado, and wishing you, that you're having a good day so far, and that the remainder of it will be, as wonderful and as safe. I'm happy to hear about how we did. I mentioned that yesterday through the carnival and so on. And let's hope it continues. We all have to play our part, both in terms of the violence and the shootings and the stabbings and what's happening on the roads and in other places where we can do otherwise and so on. Let me say good afternoon and welcome once again to The Real Issues. To my immediate right, in the middle, I have Terence Fenelon. He's a public affairs commentator. Someone sent me a message saying that I have to stop this thing about calling him retired educator and whatever. That doesn't sound good. Say former. Don't say retired, say former. So you see how people look at things very, very close, okay? But, he's a public affairs commentator. It's a given now that he's a retired educator in the public school system, that is. I'm sure he still continues to educate people. And to my extreme right, right at the end of the table, we have communications specialist, Miguel Favre, who needs no introduction. He's a journalist, he's a broadcaster, he's a former president of the Media Association of St. Lucia. So, Miggs and Mr. Fenelon, I've never been able to call him Terence. Never. The respect is just too great, Right? So, welcome once again to the program.
Yeah, thank you, Shelton.
Yes.
Of course, Shelton, as usual, it's an honor to be here.
Yes. Gentlemen.
I like this honor to be here.
Yes. Gentlemen, my plan. And I have to give, our audience, that little joke that I was prepping Mr. Fenelon and Miguel, that the two of them would host the program in my absence, because I was planning to travel, maybe sometime next week and all of that. Until I saw the requirements of where I was going to get the travel documents and so on. I needed a passport that was still valid, but not just valid, the passport needed to have at least 6 more months of valid time left on it. And it's only when I was doing the paperwork, for visa and all these sorts of things, that I realized my passport expires next month, about a month from that. Maybe I could have applied for, have it expedited and so on. But I just feel, with all of what's going on, passport office, the lines and all these sorts of things, I decided to just stand down and leave it alone. So, these two gentlemen, if things have been gone the way that I had initially planned, they would have been the ones from next week, maybe, hosting the program for at least a week for me. But I always say, I agree with what the people say, that every disappointment is a blessing and everything happens for a good reason. I'm happy to be here in the company of these two esteemed gentlemen, and I'm going to leave it to you, to get the ball rolling. I'm not introducing anything and putting it on the table for you all to comment on. You are going to set the tone, the agenda, and the pace for today's program. So let's start with you, Mr. Fenelon.
Well, no, I wanted the foot to be there because you were talking about he has some figures
Oh,
that he needs to release, etc.
Oh, yes.
So I think we need to let the public know what's happening.
If Jaquan is ready, he may have the images on screen. The document. Okay. But yes, gentlemen, this morning I inadvertently stumbled across the pre-cabinet press briefing this morning. I believe the cabinet of ministers may have taken their little rest after Carnival to ensure that they're all up and alert and attentive at today's cabinet briefing, so they can make, of course, responsible decisions on behalf of the country. And unfortunately, we're waiting on the Prime Minister, but he had to rush to cabinet. But the Deputy Prime Minister and, of course, the Minister for Tourism Investment, Broadcast, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, provided us with the arrival figures for June. And as you know, June is a very slow month for travel to this part of the world. And of course, we see the exorbitant prices of airline tickets. But through all that, we saw some serious jumps in terms of visitor arrivals from our main source markets. So as soon as we have the document, I have the document, because I did give Jaquan the document to take a copy, so our viewers can see at the same time. But until then, we can still delve into other topics.
Yeah, well, when I told Shelton I would have been back from the last time,
Yes.
I cogitated a little bit as to maybe what I should be speaking about. And in this season, looking at what has been happening, leadership came to mind. And I felt that leadership and the legacy projects, that, as I call them, nobody tell them that. That's my recollection. So let me start by defining what I meant in the context. I'm going to narrow it down in leadership. Management, they say, is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right thing. In terms of our political landscape, that is important. Doing the right thing. And we have to look back, as I said, the Labour Party and the Labour Party-led administrations went back as far as Kenny Anthony and chronicling the things that the leaders, Kenny Anthony, coming down to PJP, how they have done the right things. Because elections have consequences, Shelton. You elect a bad leader who makes a series of bad decisions. That's right, that's the word, plethora of bad decisions. You set the country back decades, right? And so, as I look back, maybe I'll be mentioning Kenny Anthony, Dr. Kenny Anthony, a lot this afternoon, because you see, you have to pass the baton vis-a-vis what we had from 2016 to 2021, and we'll see that there has been a huge gap. I was going to use chasm in leadership. Kenny Anthony, when he came in on the scene, he took the right decisions. He did things right. He fell on his sword. I believe he lost a few elections because of the correct decisions he made that people took umbrage to. They didn't realize, long term, the implications. And so he fell on his sword. I remember in the House when he introduced VAT, he said, I bear responsibility. He may have lost the election, but it was the right thing to do. He did the right thing, saved the country. And he left us before he demitted office. Projects that I think would have transformed the landscape and made life, when we do have made life easier for every citizen of this country. And what we found out, coming into 2016 to 2021, we saw not leadership, but the politics of pettiness, of hate, of vindictiveness, of sticking it to you, you know, because I'm now the boss. And instead of continuing on the legacy and building on what was there, you destroyed it. And now we have been set back.
Try to dismantle everything
demolished, and we have been set back a few decades.
Right.
We have to go back to the drawing board now to see how we can rebuild. Okay, and we have a number. We have 5. I don't know if we can take them one by one.
I can go to another one. So you need to add as well.
Yeah, we will take them, and we mustn't rush those things. Don't forget, we're coming down to the walk, you know, the walk of progress.
Yes, and we also have to tell ourselves that the legacy of Kenny Anthony predated the 2011 to 2016 period.
Correct.
1997 to 2006, universal secondary education.
Let's stop this. Let's stop it.
The Proud program.
No. Shelton, you must have been in my discussion last night, man. You know.
Yes.
Let me big up my partner Nestor. You must have been in our discussion when we were trying to list Proud.
Yes.
Regularizing the unplanned program. And people getting land. You know that they squatted on for years, transforming their lives. You know, now they can have something to mortgage for the children to study. You understand? NICE. Now you know I was trying to remember the acronym NICE. All I could figure is National Initiative. And you know that's all what was in my mind. Niggas in charge of employment. Sorry, but that's
With an A.
It was so outrageous. I mean, we not only had Proud and whatever, we also had other initiatives that came about. The low-income housing program, which was through the National Authorizing Office for European Union funds.
So when you mention the universal secondary education, Dr. Anthony, he's an educator, lifelong learner. He was a teacher, president of the Civil Teachers Union. So he understood the value and the importance of education. And you had a situation where at one time, almost 6,000 children would be writing common entrance at the time. And the system only catered for the upward mobility of about 3,000.
That's right.
So you had about 3,000 children just being left out.
Others would have been doomed.
Because, no skills, nothing.
Yeah.
And Dr. Anthony, in his wisdom, he had a very good Minister of Education.
Decided we need more schools. We need more.
So with the book program, the Basic Education Reform Project, they decided no. Took RC Boys Primary and Ave Maria Primary, Infant Primary, off the shift. A shift that was supposed to be temporary. Lasted almost 30-something. And it was
and shift finished before, actually, when I went to the primary school in Standard 2, that was about 92. That was one of the first schools to be, prior to the Kenny Anthony administration. I think that was the only school to remove the shift system.
So, viewers and listeners, today might not be too sexy like the last time I was outrageous. Let us, we're going to take our time, be methodical, clinical in our analysis and dissection of these things. Because we have to show the difference between administrations, the Labour administration, the UWP-led administration. Okay, so USC. And not only that, Dr. Anthony realized the plight of the hardworking people. He instituted the bursary. I mean that, Shelton, you should see the lines, when you see it's time for the check distribution. You understand? Doing that, one laptop per child. How many children would have been able to afford that?
But even with the understanding of the partial zoning, it was in an effort to save parents money on bus.
Correct.
The transportation subsidy. For school children.
So universal secondary education, bursary, and look at leadership, doing the right thing. PJP has taken over. He has extended that.
In fact, to let me even make that point, because the reason I mentioned USC, because I was one of those who was critical of USC at the time, the way it was implemented, in that I've said before that sending every child to a secondary school does not equate to educating them. Also, there were statistics that showed that our population was already on that decline, because we were responding to the growth in population of the 80s the 70s, 80s, 90s. But then I'd also learned that, of course, under Mario Michel, that was just phase one.
That's right.
And what we're seeing now, in fact, let's go to even when Alan Chasney was the Prime Minister. Remember they shut down the technical school in VA4. That was supposed to commence the phase two. And what they did, they opened the Sports Academy, which could have been part of the phase two of the project. But what they did was open the school in isolation. They closed down a technical school, but now what we found is that...
And you know what kind of political mindset is working. You close it in Vieux-Fort, who was the MP and still is the MP. You spite somebody there, and you open it in Grosile, who was the MP, thank God is no longer the MP.
Yes.
And you big up somebody the other side, including with contracts and whatever it is.
Shall we go up to that?
The
politics of pettiness.
Yeah.
Because that's important. We're going to come to that.
Okay.
So let's try to finish on USC.
Yeah.
And the importance. And you see PJB is coming now.
Phase two.
Phase two.
4 new schools.
That's right. Because we recognize everybody can be a lawyer, a doctor. We need skills.
As long as you don't say academically inclined.
No.
I really
we
dislike.
clarified that last week.
Okay.
Because these kids are very intelligent.
Yes, and that is why you had such a strong emphasis on TVET, technical and vocational
And now
education
we have
and training.
four new schools. Well, I can say new.
Converted,
Converted
Yes.
to TVET education.
Yes.
And I'm going to guarantee you.
In addition to institutions like the NSDC at BZ there, you know.
Not CHTI. Not CHTI, just for clarification.
Yes.
You try to destroy NSDC.
Yes.
As an institution with full accreditation, offering fantastic programs. You're trying to destroy it for CHTI, no accreditation.
And not only that too, if you wanted to bring in, what's the name of that thing he brought down there? He said artificial intelligence, whatever, and so on.
Ojo Labs.
Ojo Labs. Time you go in and pay Ojo Labs to come and set up shop here. You have places like NSDC and other. Why don't you inject some money, inject some human resource recruitment so that you have good teachers who can go beyond, open up centers and do those kinds of things? It always has to be.
And the funny thing is, all Ojo Labs was a basic call center.
Yeah.
So we're going to see and Shelton, I'm going to guarantee you that when these 4 schools speak up, you're going to see less defiance. Because you see a lot of the students who sometimes at the secondary school do the grammar type education, not that they can't, they're bored. There's a mismatch. We're not getting them. So now they'll be doing what they love. Because I've had students and parents, but I want to fix my mobile.
In fact,
I want to do, and we cannot cater for these boys, and they're just lying aimlessly. Now they have a purpose, and we're going to capture them. And I'm going to show you in the next few years, there'll be less deviance in schools and maybe in the society at large. So kudos to the Prime Minister and Sean Edward and those who are involved. That's the step in doing the right thing. Okay?
You say that one of the first courses in my first semester courses of doing my marketing degree, we did achieving academic excellence, and one of the focuses was on the different types of learning, whether it be auditory or visual and these kind of things. And I believe that this has not, over the years, over the decades, I'm being a product of the system. We're all products of the system. There are those who fell between the cracks just because those different types of learning ways of learning have not been taken into account. So it was just one streamlined method of instruction, and everyone is supposed to adapt to that. We've seen those changes now, particularly with phase 2 of the universal secondary education.
So you see what we are doing?
Absolutely.
Dr. Anthony came in with his vision, revolutionized education. I mean, we're not eating Sir John has did excellent up to this point.
But it has to be an incremental building up. Once person lays the foundation, you pulled up some walls and so on.
Yes, Sir John did his bit.
Yes.
He built, a lot of us got educated under Sir John.
Yes.
We must never deny that.
That's right.
He did what he could under the circumstances.
At the time,
He passed the baton. Kenny Anthony took it and built upon it.
That's right.
And then you had a break, the dark ages, 2016, 2021, where everything fell down. And now we're trying to build back again. To
build back better.
Build back better. I'm trying not to use those stock phrases, cliches, but build back better.
And we keep saying 2016 to 2021. We have to forget, Sir John came back in 2006. He didn't last beyond September 2007.
Right. So there was
whatever vision he had to carry things forward more.
That's right.
It was very quickly abandoned.
Right.
Many people, it's just greed. It's just sheer greed and so on that just took over. the time, and we begin to see the stirrings of it all in the 2007 onward,
So-
where exactly.
So we don't get leadership.
Yeah.
That's all part of protecting the future, because solutions, those listening, I want to encourage everybody to take part in the political process. Some people tell you they're not in politics. Sorry, but this is the most ignorant thing I've heard.
Protecting the victory is synonymous with protecting the gains.
That's
You have
right.
made gains, and you don't want people to come and
We don't want to go back.
Exactly.
Every enterprise,
That's what it
every
is.
Business entity,
That's right.
You protect
Yeah.
your property.
So-
Yeah.
So we have that. A visionary like Dr. Anthony. Education. So we're still on education.
Exactly.
He built, and you expected people to build on that. But what you heard? He mashed up the schools.
Yes.
And I'm telling my education minister, give me a school in the cloud.
Yeah. Or they fall into
Yeah.
in disrepair.
There'll be- there'll
with
be-
basic repairs.
Basic-
And how what it was happening, They are so vindictive trying to mess up opposition places. You remember what happened to the Miku Secondary School? The Miku Secondary School needed some repairs, that were taking forever. It was being neglected. Right in the heart of their stronghold, they were behaving that kind of way.
You want me to give you my experience?
Yeah, tell me,
No,
please.
no.
Tell
Trust me,
us.
that's a week.
No, education we're talking
No,
about.
yeah, I know.
Condense it.
Sometimes I feel like I failed my teachers. That's why you see the Belrose doctrine. I hate that. I'll be honest with you,
Everybody of sound
because
mind would
it
hate it.
stung me. It stung where I get emotional. So let me leave that alone.
Okay.
I think I'll be writing a little ditty just on that chapter. So, Dr. Anthony, Dr. Anthony sowed the seeds of his defeat. Let me explain. Had this chap been a leader and built upon what was left by Dr. Anthony, I suspect Labour Party would have been in opposition.
Yeah, it would have been very difficult for them.
Because
It would demonstrate a progressive mindset.
let's take the administrative center in Vieux-Fort. You go to Vieux-Fort from time to time, right? You pass Vieux-Fort.
Merci, Javier, for us.
Shelton, when you drive to Vieux-Fort, right now you see the Wasco building.
Oh, the glass house.
Well, I think the management of Wasco was smart, They had a very soft opening. They didn't make too much of that. And don't get me wrong, workers deserve to have the best working environment.
Exactly.
But look at the politics of hate, vindictiveness, pettiness. I even say stupidity. You have a government who realizes you have to decentralize the services of the government.
And by the way, that was nothing so novel. When they're the ones who were talking about quadrant planning and
correct.
taking this and
Correct.
putting this, that. So what is wrong with a decentralization effort? Yeah,
So you are going to build an administrative complex in Vieux-Fort. Cash is already congested, because every people believe cash is a solution. Cash is not a solution. You want the birth certificate, you have to drive up to cash trees. What's the fare? I have no idea what's the fare.
I think it's $8 or
No,
$12.
$12 each way, $24. Sometimes you come and it's not ready. You have to go down to Vieux-Fort, go back to Labrie. She was there.
Oh, it's always fun. The best people want to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I experienced that interviewing people at the adjudicator's office.
Correct. You have Dr. Anthony, leader, doing the right thing. I'm going to put an administrative complex. Everything is done. The foundation is laid. So you want a license, a driver's license? You're in Vieux-Fort, you don't have to go far.
ID card, everything.
ID card? No, let's take it one by one. Call it for me in case I forget.
Birth certificate.
Birth certificate,
Marriage
shelter,
certificate.
marital, all the services that are available in cash trees would be available to everybody in the South.
Exactly. And which is not rocket science, because this is the day of interconnectedness where we have network connections. What you need is a place, a center, a facility that can house the provision of those services.
It's easier to manage.
But
Exactly,
you come in, you stop it. And I think, I don't want to misquote, you had to pay a few $1 million to the
Yes, we had to
contractor.
pay the contractor a few $1 million. In fact, all while the inauguration was going on at the Philip Masley grounds, I saw the contractor on the site at that time expecting a building. I'm not sure. I think he already knew what was coming.
But look at the politics of pettiness. You already had a sword turning ceremony for for the administrative center. Fantastic idea. You stop it, you pay millions. Then you're going to have another sorting ceremony for Wasco when you want to invite Dr. Anthony to that.
Exactly.
And let's look at the cost benefit and the functionality of it. What transactions can you really expect to conduct at the Wasco building apart from the customer service, paying your bills? I don't even think there's space for the technical staff there like we'll have in Wasco in Castries.
But we already pay your bills at Shopee.
At Shopee.
Yeah.
So there's
So
no reason.
That was just a wrong decision, lacking leadership, or somebody who has the position but cannot make the right decisions because they are consumed with vindictiveness and sticking it.
But he himself is a poor decision. The man's a walking poor decision.
So you do that.
So isn't that the same Viewfort where you went and you held a swearing in for your new cabinet?
Because I have to stick it to Kenya.
Yeah, you have to stick it to him. But at the same time, this was an opportunity to demonstrate that I am coming into thinking of elevating Viewfort from not being second fiddle to anybody, that it can be a center, of activity, a second capital in itself. But instead, what you do, it's all about sucking into Kenny. It's all about humiliating to Kenny. You will never be able to walk in Kenny shoes. Never.
I'm trying to tell you, every Saturday, the gentleman used to drive from his home in Rodney Bay.
Yeah.
With his entourage to get a haircut somewhere in Viewfort. Live stream that so Kenny Anthony look at big voucher.
I run things now.
I run things.
Such a child.
You know the pettiness?
Yeah.
You know the pettiness of Shelton?
No.
And you're setting us back decades because right now we have to find land again to try to build an administrative center.
Yeah, okay, well,
whereas Wasco could have gotten offices in that same administrative center.
Of course, yes. He got the ultimate haircut. He was cutting his hair and shaping it and everything. But he got the ultimate Ted Guate on July 26, 2021.
Shelton, when I look at that building, to me it's a monument, it's an edifice to stupidity.
Yes.
I'm sorry. No, I don't mean any insult to the workers of Wasco. Wasco workers, you deserve to have a good working environment.
Yeah.
But that decision to stop the administrative center, to put that building there was a stupid decision.
But I would look
lacking of leadership.
again, I look at the building and the functionality. Where are the technical staff? The guys, where are you housing the guys who are going to go repair the pipes, the guys who fix? Where it doesn't look like that's a building.
In other words, the whole idea behind the building was a showpiece.
That's right.
It's a showpiece.
A glass
you
house.
build it for a showpiece and you did not have functionality in mind. What is the functional use of that building? It's all about showpiece. It's all about packaging. It's all about this whole thing that everything must be to show whatever Kenny Anthony did, I can undo it and do it better.
You claim you want to develop Viewfort, and one of the decisions which would have been most impactful, you stopped it.
Yeah.
You stopped it. So people from Viewfort still have to pay $24 to come to get a driver's license, a birth certificate, etc., an ID card, when all of these services would have been brought to them, available to them, right in the neck of the woods.
Exactly.
Are you telling me? Leadership is doing the right thing, not doing what is expedient or what will stick it to people or what will show people that I am the boss.
And let me tell you something again, Mr. Fenelon.
Yeah.
The difference between Alan Chasney and Kenny Anthony is that Kenny Anthony would never take those decisions without a very wide net of consultation. Engineers, his permanent secretary, his minister responsible for infrastructure, which would have been Philip JP at the time.
John Compton
He would have done all that. Alan Chasney has a complex of always needing to show that he's smarter than everybody else.
That's right.
So most likely Alan Chasney, it would be a unilateralist thing. Stop this thing. Just stop this. Do this. Do that and that kind of thing.
As he did in Soufrière.
Exactly. Alan Chasney is not a consultative person because he carries some self-esteem issues where he feels a need to always prove his intelligence and show how brilliant he is and show whatever. So you never get the sense. He may be consulting, but with a very narrow pool of people who will tell him what he wants to.
I don't listen.
I blame his parents.
I don't listen and go and do his thing.
Parents.
So always, most of his decisions are not informed by the kind of wisdom and so on that come from that collectivism. And in the end, almost everything he does ends up being botched.
I believe his parents may have been a little too hard on his unintelligence, so he now has a point to prove to this.
Have you heard me when I said what Nigel Mitchell, the late Nigel Mitchell was working for Heritage Tourism, told me? Alan Chasney came down to Soufrière, was it, and so on, because he was gunning to run the Soufrière seat. And Chasney Pudentus had his first meeting with them when he became Minister of Tourism as a senator and so on, and told them 3 things he wants to tell them. You know, don't question me, don't try to help me, and don't second guess me. You know, he said those 3 things to them. Yeah. So this is the man who sees himself as the repository of all wisdom and intelligence and knowledge, you know.
I was looking for a little write-up from Mr. Mahenikat, my colleague, after the passage of Hurricane Beryl.
Okay, yeah, I think I read that, yeah.
In Soufrière, where the damage, and you're saying, but...
Oh yeah, I read that part.
You read it?
Yeah. All the information about the Soufrière River and all the impact it would have and so on.
Oh
yeah. You know?
Yeah, you could read that down.
It says, truth be told, after the passage of Hurricane Tomas in 2010 and the Christmas Eve trough 2013, the Kenny Anthony-led SLP administration, which assumed office in November 2011, decided to place projects proposed for Soufrière waterfront, such as the Hummingbird Beach Park and the Old Trafford facility, on hold, pending the prioritization of other critical disaster recovery, infrastructural and education projects. However, upon assuming office in June 2016, the Alan Chasney-led EWP immediately undertook to complete both projects without first also completing the recommended mitigation studies and river training works on the Soufrière River and waterfront. So much for the fable about 3 little pigs in a haste to build their houses. Yesterday, Big Bad Beryl huffed and puffed and blew down the first 2 pigs' houses, made of proverbial straw and sticks respectively. And he says, tomorrow in order to avoid future destruction, that part is not there.
So basically, Mr. Hedikat is summing up for you. This guy doesn't listen. Mm-hmm. He does what he wants. People must just toe the line.
Yeah.
Totally
submit.
Just totally submit. You know. Don't question. You understand? That's why I like Ozzy Boy. Sorry, Mr. Oswald Augustine. I don't think we are good. We still
Ozzy Boy, because why he knocking Chasney? He can't see the good leadership.
No. I'm not going there. I mean, we exchange pleasantries, but I don't think I'm close enough to call him Ozzy Boy without his permission. But he's a guy who speaks it. Who calls it like it is.
Part of it.
And he told you straight after 2016, we have to get rid of this guy. This guy is not good for solution. You understand? We need a new leader because we do not have a leader.
I don't take stock in what people like Ozzy Boy said.
Yeah, you know, I'm not knocking Ozzy.
No, I'm really knocking because they are part of the problem. 2016 to 2021, you were there saying nothing and supporting everything he did. Yeah, after he lost the election, all his bad habits are now coming to light. You're saying, oh, he was this, he was that. I don't have respect for that type of behavior.
Okay. Yeah, but that's right. So, Viewfort, the administrative center, you know, you talk about decision making, doing the right thing. You came in there, you found that would have transformed lives. That would have been like you should have continued that. Had you continued that, I think your political stock capital would have gone up.
All right.
But you destroyed it. You stopped it, and you gave us an edifice to I call it stupidity. I mean, not that I'm knocking Wasco workers, as I said, they deserve to be in an environment that is conducive to to the health and everything. But you don't stop what is transformative in nature. So Dr. Anthony had that vision, and you stopped it.
Okay. No. Let's take a break now. When we come back, we'll deal with the other things that you want to highlight. I suspect today, Japan, I have to tell you early, you have to be extra time, and no two ways about it, it's 3 of us there now, and I can tell you this, gentlemen, they are firing on all cylinders and more. This is The Real Issues, Thursday, the 18th of July. I want to remind you that tonight from 8:30 on NBC television, there will be Can I Help You? With Richard Frederick and Albert Frages. You don't want to miss that. We'll be back shortly.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
12:30 to 2 p.m. on Real FM Radio that serves you on the dual frequencies of 91.3 for those of you in the north and 91.5 in the south. We're also simulcasting on NBC Television, channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. We are on Facebook Live and we also stream live via YouTube. My guest co-host in the studio today are Terence Fenelon, a former school principal who is a public affairs commentator, something he couldn't do in his days as a principal. You know, he had to obey the civil service to be commenting publicly about things political and so on. Oh, no, he couldn't and wouldn't have done that, disciplined civil servant that he was. And Miguel Favre, a journalist, broadcaster, communications specialist, former president of the Media Association of St. Lucia. And they're talking about the various issues, providing us with, you know, a little... a screenshot of the differences in administration between the St. Lucia Labour Party, which is now in government, and the United Workers' Party, especially the one that was led by Alan Michael Chasney from 2016 to 2021. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Yes, okay. Miguel has agreed that we should stay with you forward.
Yeah, man.
So we have already dealt with the administrative center and how transformative it would have been. And the former administration stopped it abruptly, paid millions, and then had a second salt turning ceremony to which they invited Dr. Anthony to Papi Showing, etc. Of course, Dr. Anthony, being the statesman he was, declined, rightfully, because you don't Papi Show me in my constituency. And now we still have this backlog, you know, people coming up from the south to get simple things done when we could have decentralized government. And that was the whole purpose. And again, we're talking leadership. Leadership is doing the right thing at all times. Government must be continuous. And when you get good projects, you follow on, you follow up, you enhance it, you don't destroy. So let's go to St. Jude.
If
Right?
we don't finish the hospital before the next elections, we don't deserve to be in government.
Well, I will tell you, I have to call my brother in Vieux-Fort to let him know that he must prepare my room there for me in his house. Because when we open, I don't need an invitation. I'll be spending the weekend down there. Taking in the sea, Rudy John Beach.
Just don't fall sick.
No. By God's grace. Don't call that. Go on Rudy John Beach, soak up there, do some snorkeling.
Exactly.
And then in the afternoon, when we open it, I'll stay by Susie's bar. She died. God rest her soul. May she rest in peace. And I must hear from the loudspeakers because that will be a great day.
Oh yeah.
St. Jude's, you enter. Leadership. I'm Shelton.
15 years going, 14 years going.
This one section, but Dr. Anthony Susan says, now we can't just fix one. We have to improve. He went out, got some loans, left money there. You came in, it was 75% complete. But some people, you cannot think like, okay, I want to be very careful next thing people think I'm calling it. There are some people there, they're way ahead of you. They can see mischief. 75% completed. Yeah. The first thing, to me, the first order of business is, how do I get those patients out of the stadium back into a hospital that is built as a hospital? Logical?
That's common sense.
Common sense. You commissioned a report,
Yeah.
And the guy who did the report, I don't know his political persuasion, but he's a professional, right?
Excuse me.
He's a professional.
Almost $1 million.
$1 million.
Clear my throat again.
Okay? $1 million.
Just clear my
He's
throat.
a professional. I mean, his reputation, as far as I know, a guy who, top notch, he did the report. But apparently the report did not say what you wanted it to say.
Yeah. As the report said that the project of the hospital, it is one that can move forward,
Now, Shelton, the Labour Party over the years, we have made some errors. We always believe that our work will speak for itself.
That's right.
No, you have to sell
Your work.
yourself.
Right.
Richard is brilliant at that.
Exactly.
And I think sometimes the parliamentarians are missing a bit there.
Yeah.
Thursday night, that's hot.
Yeah,
I
to
got
me,
billboard
to
in
me,
town.
they should be falling over.
Falling overhead to be there to
other.
sell yourself.
Exactly.
And we have to call on them to stop this nonsense.
Yeah, Richard does not just have
So,
public relations.
We believe
savvy,
we believe that our work will speak for itself. You understand? 75% complete. And you expect a reasonable man will build on that, finish that in no time. But no. The report says, but it's salvageable and it is fit for purpose. I do not like that. So what do I do? I send one of my supporters. We got a new unit of measure, right?
Yeah, man.
So if you stretch your arm from
Stretch
tip to
your
tip,
arm, no,
that's
stretch
approximately
one up and down.
5 feet.
Yes,
Well, for me, it's big. So it's approximately 5 feet.
Yes.
It's called, should I call it a new unit of measure?
Yeah.
You didn't know arm's
The-
length was an official
So
measurement?
the LoRa, one LoRa is about 5 feet. So the LoRa, it was like, no, so it's, and a catchphrase. And we have to be, we have to be mindful of that.
Door is so low.
Look,
Look at that door.
So it's stretch arms. And from, let me just pause, stick up in, Miguel, remind me if I go off track. The 680 gas match was built on a lie, right?
Of course it was.
Imagine I got
information.
I got a joke. I got a joke.
Government is
Making
$6.80 on every gallon. That's
when you don't speak to the public and you don't come and sell yourself, that's what happens. It caught on fire. Cambridge Analytica. Even if at the time when we came to defend that, it was too late. I remember Brother Inch, if you're listening, sent out the formula. But no, at that time, that 680 had already caught on fire.
Yes.
People asking, but why are these fellas in opposition saying all these lies, misinformation and disinformation?
And it's
it's
not
simple.
and it's not being contested.
Something, yes. They just want something to get to catch
Yes.
as a 680. Now, you know what caught for St. Jude? That's why we have the second box, which in my opinion should never have existed. You know what? So when we went there, what was the phrase that came out?
One lawyer.
It's not built, to international standards. And had people who were just repeating that without evidence. But it's not built to international standards. It's not built to international standards. They cannot produce any documentation to say that. But it caught on. And so they were able to use that to go to build that box there.
Build the box.
And
nobody can explain how that box.
Before they even got to the box, that's why I like my Doodle Beth. Mary Isaac is just so pure in her behavior. That thing slipped out. She was the one who slipped out that there was going to be a demolition of one section of the hospital, and that was Mr. Guy Joseph's plan.
Right. So that is why now all kinds of the latest lie. Ernest has embezzled $1.4 billion. So that is just thrown out there. Because you see, that's a frightening figure. $1.4 billion. These fellows steal that. I use them thief deliberately. Steal. They stole it.
How can in an economy the size of St. Lucia can somebody steal?
So you could have a wrong table, WRON, a wrong table to discuss a lie. Because you see, in the hope that will catch. And when that catches fire, Shelton, you can't contain that. You cannot contain that, So they are going to throw everything possible to see what can stick. That's Cambridge Analytica at work. That is why we have to be vigilant and we have to counteract every lie, every misinformation. But you have St. Jude's. It's fit for purpose. But you decided no, based on the measurements that you got from your supporter, you're going to go and proceed to be above. I heard that that $2 million was paid out for dolls, and there's not one door in that building.
Really? But don't forget that there was one of their own, who I think is doubling as a broadcaster at the same time that he's a red cap pushing trolley and so on. That he supplied the door, and how much did the door cost? About 12,000 or something for
12,000
for one ordinary door.
That's why clarification.
So I don't know my partner.
When you said one lora is 5 feet wide, are you talking about this or are you talking?
No. The stretch, the measurement, because there's no tape measure there, so it's like that.
But if she couldn't fit for it.
Well, I don't know.
You were saying.
I don't know. I'm just letting you know that we got a new unit of measure. It's not metric. I think it's imperial measure. So that is it. And based on that, it was not built to international standard. We have a box there that we spent 113 million. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. Uselessly. Where, Shelton, if really and truly as a leader,
we're still paying,
yes, we're still paying. We still have out there. If I really wanted to get the sick out of the stadium, I would have used that money to complete what existed. And if you wanted to go on a frolic of your own afterwards,
and not only that,
but you should have.
And not only that, too. How can you ever convince people that the St. Jude Hospital, that you had every bit of movie lang to say about it, to show that Kenny Anthony and the government he led, they didn't know what they were doing? Who on earth will ever believe that Dr. Anthony, on his own, as a prime minister, ordered how the hospital would be built, that it didn't go through a process of consultancy, it didn't go through a process of review? You know, Kenny Anthony personally petitioned the then president of Taiwan, Ma Ying-jeou, who came to have a meeting in the Americas. I think they were meeting in Mexico, and Kenny Anthony personally petitioned the man. Somebody was there told me Kenny Anthony developed a bonding with this man, and then they realized it's because Ma Ying-jeou is a lawyer, that they had this natural chemistry with them. Yeah. And the man immediately pledged or committed a huge sum of money from Taiwanese, funds and so on to provide for the hospital. Kenny Anthony, not an engineer, he not an architect, he not a builder, that Kenny Anthony would have ordered the hospital to be built a certain way, to find fault with Kenny Anthony. You all are coming and making all kinds of accusations, and then they embark on the box and get one big expense for the box that is coming up days before the elections, about 26 million for architectural works. I know about architectural drawings, I know about architectural plans and so on. The fellas have something for how many millions and millions of dollars for architectural works.
But you know what that is? That's it. Why we had a new unit of measurement? We had a new unit of measurement. That's a new construction term. That's
a new unit of embezzlement,
that's a unit of bubble. That's a unit of guy.
But we must appeal. Let's slow down. As I told you, Facebookers, those online, etc., on TV. Today, we're not going to be sexy. We're not going to be hitting everywhere. We want to be methodical and clinical. I want you to think critically, because you have friends and they utter nonsense things, nonsensical things. You have a hospital that is built. Tapia was not built as a hospital.
Nope, it was a hotel.
Tapia was a hotel.
Tapia Reef Hotel.
Right, Tapia Reef. Refurbished is a hotel, hospital now. I go there to get meds for my mom, etc. Go and see my doctor. I have a doctor there, etc. You have a complex built as a hospital. 75% completed. You order an investigation or a reputable company, a guy first rate. He does it, a thorough report. And he says, listen, man, this thing is salvageable. It's fit for purpose. That is what you ordered. You paid just slightly less than $1 million. But you did not like the contents. You did not like what the report came to you. So you did not do anything. Instead, you put it aside. That's $1 million, That's our money. And you decided to go on a box. You have this there. From what I gather, no plumbing, no conduits for electrical
no
works,
sidewalls.
no sidewalls.
The thing is just the cladding and the
cladded box.
You
said about the architectural works. 7 days before an election? Or? You given a direct award. Now we must get a copy of that direct award because there is something.
Shown it a few
no, but there is something on most of these direct awards that we must show the public, because you see, these guys knew what they were doing. The last sentence of that direct award, you must read it out loud. It's usually a threat. If you do not comply, we will bring you before the Public Service Commission. You have to get that to read that, because usually I don't have a copy.
So why didn't they bring their own Attorney General at the time before whatever body it was? Because the Attorney General, when it went to him and he saw that thing, he knew that this thing was wrong on all counts, and he just let it
die.
Not
the Attorney General, the public.
No. The Attorney General, Stephen Julian, at some point.
I suppose he was tired of rubber stamping.
Stephen Julian at some point decided this is not living the test.
That's right, because you're giving an award, direct award. No, that's abuse, of the Financial Act.
And the Direct Award always calls for a fresh start.
Fresh start.
If it's so good, why
about the interest?
70
million. No. Wait. We can't get, no, Miguel. Let's take our time on this.
1 point something million per day.
Yeah. We have to take our time on this because people must understand what we escaped. That is why we have to protect that victory.
Yes.
You have to understand what it is that we came from, because these fellas would have. They had already bankrupted the country because COVID hit.
Yes.
And in 2 weeks after COVID hit, there was no money for anything.
I will tell you something. I'll give kudos to the last cabinet, either P cabinet, because they tried to avert a disaster of that nature by protesting the appointment of that particular minister to the Ministry of Infrastructure. But he got an even worse one where he had access to
it was not cabinet that did that. The public was saying that.
Which is economic development.
Yeah.
We don't want him in.
So, Shelton, a few days. We have to take our time on that. Let the people digest that. Today we're having lunch. Well, I don't have lunch, but somebody might. $70 million. To do have you been to St. Jude's? I've been to the site. When I go down to Fifth Ward, I stop by my brother and stuff. Sometimes I try to drive to the gate up, and I speak to this place that's leaking and no walls, plumbing absent, electricity, no fixtures absent. But you're going to give 70 million first start to do the bottom floor. The ground floor.
I suppose that's all part of architectural works.
Architectural works. I mean, and even when you hear the term architecture, that should become before the construction even comes.
That's architectural works.
So I mean, if you were smart, I'm coming as a leader, brother man. I know that's what the people want. I would have finished that section, taken out everybody from the stadium. And if now I wanted to go and do my business, whatever, I don't think the public would have minded. They would have even forgiven you and say, but no, I need to show I cannot continue what Kenny has done, what Kenny has started.
Yes.
Because if I do that, I'll be giving props to Kenny.
Yes.
You understand?
What do you think is his thing with Kenny Anthony?
What?
What do you think is his beef with Kenny?
Man, you have ever been by Kenny, man? But let me tell you, I sat at a few
the same
occasions.
thing the same thing that Donald Trump has with
Yeah,
Barack Obama.
yeah.
You know, jealousy.
The man is
They see a genuinely intelligent
stature,
person, you know.
and intellectually.
Yeah.
I mean, the man is a genius.
The same thing.
I don't care what people say. You know, they try to knock him, etc., etc. They call him arrogant. He's not arrogant. You know. He just has a finger.
You cannot. Alan Shastney cannot hold a candle to Kenny Anthony.
We know that.
You know, the same
Not
way
even
Donald
the candle
Trump.
holder.
Donald Trump never contested an election against Barack Obama. He won Hillary Clinton,
Yeah.
but the guy could not stop talking about Barack Obama. It's Obama. Obama did this.
Right.
It's almost as if the guy was pitching himself against Obama. No, they never met.
That's
It's the same
right.
with Alan Shastney. Alan Shastney has this fascination with Kenny Anthony, who is a genuine and real and proven
Intellect.
and accepted intellect and thinker and so on.
Correct.
Alan Shastney has been choking in the dust, trying to present and portray himself as being something close to Kenny Anthony, which he is not and will never be, because he's just too narcissistic. He's just
right.
too bent upon showing
Correct.
himself to be better than he really is, so that he never really learns. You know?
And if he had to continue those projects, I mean, he would have gotten all the praise. Kenny and we'll say, but we started, but people don't care who
They care who
started.
started.
It's how you have transformed their lives. But he could not understand that. So he would not listen to anybody. He would let the jackasses pray. He would do his own thing. What he said, don't question me, don't second guess me, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, don't try to help
Help
me.
me.
I know
So-
everything. I have everything under control. I have it all figured out and so on. So don't y'all come and make any suggestions to me or anything like that. You know, just do what I tell you. You know,
But-
this is the nature of the man.
In comes Philip Jepier. And one thing I like about Philip Jepier,
No fuss.
he's always tell you, if he doesn't know, he listens to the technocrats.
Yeah.
He will not come and tell you and tell you, well, this is no, he doesn't do that. Say, I don't know. Now people figure, you must know. No, I tell you, I don't know. He'll find out.
Yeah.
But he tell you, I will listen to my technocrats. He took commission a study, and based on the study, you heard him say very carefully, he's opening St. Jude on a Friday. Well, I don't care if it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. He said Friday. Well, Friday night, sir, because early answer on a Friday. And he's confident that's going to be done before he rings that bell. And trust me, Sheldon, as long as I'm in good health, you know, once the GLAP is working, I'll be down if you fought. Spend the weekend. Be sending if you fought.
All right. Okay.
So Kenny Anthony, you know, the visionary, the man who started transforming. They call him arrogant. That's what it is. We'll dissect that another time, because we have a lot to discuss. Don't forget, the match is on the 25th, so we're coming on to the match.
No, isn't it on the 4th of August?
No, the 25th.
Of July?
Yeah.
Next month.
Of August.
So we have enough time to discuss the niceties and all the other stuff. Here and now.
All right.
UNORA. That's, and you know, allow me to make this statement about UNORA. I had to explain that to someone again, a friend, like you say, you speak to your friend, expect them to know better. I said, okay, look at your everyday life. You want to start a business, right? And you do not have the capacity, the resources to start that business. And you have someone coming to you and says that they're going to take on all the expenses to start that business. They're going to run it and pay you. And after a particular time, they give you your business. The business is yours to run. Vis-a-vis taking a loan based on variables, or you being able to service that loan is based on variables that you can't control. You have no control over. So you might be stuck with a loan and your business is not thriving. Which would you rather? Not someone take on all the risk for you? So why would it not make sense that we would have a PPP for the airport, the largest infrastructure airport project, the most costly infrastructure project in our history? Why take on all that risk where we have someone who could do it for us and still own it? You know, win or lose, we own it.
Let me tell you something.
Hold on a second. We have a message that's, and Shelton, remember that the so-called new St. Jude Hospital, the box, was being built without approval by the Development Control Authority. Therefore, all works by the UWP on the $113 million box were illegal works.
That's true.
You know, how can you build a hospital without approved plans when you must get approval to build a 2x4? You know, so these are all things, architectural works were illegal works.
Before we go to the HIA and the PPP, let me tell you something about Dr. Anthony. He was honest. He was with JDA on the program. Because don't forget, when he came in, he inherited not that too good, not that too healthy economy. And once you know, you inherit something that is not too healthy, you have to try to stabilize it.
We were just trying to feel the
Right.
effects of the economic.
And he was honest. He says, well, at the time, man, it was difficult to borrow. Sorry, and he had to put his house in order. You know, these people take that and run it flat. Nobody would lend Dr. Anthony money. So if nobody lent him money, how did he run the country? That means you just attesting to his brilliance.
Right.
Okay. But there is something that people don't talk about. In all the hardships and everything else, and if you talk to the technocrats at the time, they tell you Dr. Anthony did something that was remarkable, but that was not sold to the public. He was able to create fiscal space for the country. So we could borrow. He was able to pay down the debt, maneuver, and the debt to GDP, the space. And you know what really hurt? After he demitted office, they did recalculation, and UWP just benefited from a debasing.
So we had more space to.
Just a calculation, it's like the fun.
Yet a man comes in.
And then they can't talk about
the country is broke.
So you got that. You were blessed with that debasing that Dr. Anthony, after all his hard work, created the fiscal space. Whatever they recalculated and increased the economy, a debasing. So you had more space to borrow. Talk about policies that you, but you did nothing. You just inherited that.
In addition to all the money you make from raising the excise
tax.
Excise tax.
But the economy said excise tax.
Isn't that a sign of idiocy and lunacy where you come in, the fiscal space was created for you. You come in because of the debasing, you have more virtual fiscal, I call it virtual space, fiscal space. And then you go borrow more in the history, borrow the most in the history of the country to put us at a point where we can't even borrow.
And
what has happened?
And then a little pandemic, came in, and in 2 weeks, I mean, you benefited from that,
Yeah.
That fiscal space that Dr. Anthony created, plus the debasing. So now your debt to the GDP ratio is more favorable. So it allows you, and you have to blew that in no time. In no time, we could, and then you had to, and NIC had to come. That's another thing, Dr. Anthony saved the country from when he transferred these pensions to NIC, because this pension thing was unsustainable.
Oh yeah, it was.
He paid for it, but that again, leadership.
Yes,
that was the right thing.
Oh yeah,
and that's the hallmark of a great leader.
Yes,
when you do the right thing in spite of what it might cost you.
Yes,
those who know will support you. You understand? Of course, there'll be people who would exploit that. But you have to maintain that your integrity and your dignity. You have to do what is right.
Quite true, gentlemen. We are due for another commercial break.
Okay,
let's take it, and when we come back, we'll continue. Don't forget, we know already that we're going beyond 2:00 today.
All right.
How much beyond, I don't know, but we have to let the people. I know they're itching, to share the space with us and so on. We have to give them some time for that. This is The Real Issues.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's ginger turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you.
The man.
Staying with the real issues on this Thursday, the 18th of July 2024, with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside Jaquan, our technical operator, and my co-host Terence Fenelon and Miguel Fevrier. Gentlemen, it's coming time where we have to bring the people in on what we're discussing, but I know there's a lot more that you all want to talk about.
Maybe we could have.
Yeah. Can we compress some of it? And,
Yes,
Miguel, you've been kept fairly quiet because Terence has been really on fire.
Well, we were on the HIA. I mentioned the PPP part already, so if Terry just wants to add something before the call.
As I was saying, we'll come back to Dr. Anthony because I don't think we have paid enough homage to Dr. Anthony and his contribution. You know, his visionary leadership. Okay, we have to do that. But you have an HIA. We all knew that the airport had to be redeveloped. And it did not start with Dr. Anthony, it was before him. But he was able to enter into a PPP arrangement, supervised by a department of the World Bank, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything is in order. Delivered. No real strain on the consolidated fund. You understand? But that had to be stopped. We paid a penalty. The penalty, I think, was $1 million US, or $2 million US.
We were going ahead with it through the IFC.
The IFC,
and it was $1 million. Yeah, I think about $1 million US. Yeah, 1.1 or something like that.
And then you're going to go to take a loan, a charge against the consolidated fund. And Sheldon, we know the history of airport developments in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
This thing is fraught with corruption, delays, grift, all kinds of stuff. Dr. Anthony was saving us that headache.
I enter into the PPP.
We share it.
Which even big countries like France and so on have.
That's how they go through it.
Sangster, International, Jamaica.
But in Africa, and we saw what has happened in Africa when they went the way of that. They took loans from, I think, the Chinese government, and now they own they own their airports. Now, something got me recently in a house sitting, because you remember something, you mentioned this thing about having to pay the IFC and the loan that we had to take. Remember, Alan Chastney continually said, when he was being criticized for raising our debt to GDP ratio, right? He said that the debt is SLASPA's, not the government. Among the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, right?
Yeah, because he made the differentiation between state funds and public funds and crown funds.
Exactly.
When he did what he done in the Sufre Foundation money.
Exactly.
So maybe that's it. It's not state funds. It's crown funds. It's okay.
So then now he's. But then recently I think it was the same SLASPA. He's saying, I think it had to do with the ports project, the port redevelopment project. But he's saying now that, but it's the government who will be taking on all this, whatever debt, and it's the government taking on all this debt. So you're contradicting yourself on 2 points, because it doesn't suit you. It doesn't. One time it's state funds, it's contributing to our. It's not contributing to our, to our debt to GDP ratio, and now it is.
Another time it's crown funds.
Yeah. Well, Shelton, we'll do this. The callers, I don't know. You have messages to read.
No. Let's open the lines to some people. We always want to have that kind of.
If they don't call, we shut down the program. Right?
We shut down the program. I had some people really having themselves, in an almost orgasmic kind of feel about this thing. Yes. And the amazing thing is that since that time, the program has been on steroids, the kind of participation on calls and all of that we've been having and so on.
So it's like a ginger ale meme, you turn right back around.
Yeah, we're getting our first call, The real issues, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Must be Cornelia.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel, and good afternoon to you again.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah. Alan Chastney must understand that his brand of politics of deceit, that will not work anymore. And I've always wondered, the DSH project, whether there were politicians from the Alan Chastney administration and the relatives that would be future shareholders of that so-called T.O. King company. And I've always wondered too, whether there were politicians from the United Workers' Party administration that were shareholders of Fresh Start. Because when you look at that attempted $70 million contract, these men were in power to protect the interests of the state, because that's what they're there for. But you could see that the persons that formulated that contract were there to protect their interests. Because when you look at the punitive measures that was placed on that contract, which the state had to pay in 1 year, and every day that you falter, there was an interest of $127,000. These persons formulated that for their own interests. Correct. And not the state.
Correct.
And the reason why they never continued the St. Jude project, it is all about greasing the pockets with petroleum jelly. Yeah, thank you.
Caller, just thank you, caller. You know, just to correct you, his name is 2 Acre King and not Tewa King. Just 2 Acre King. But you know, it's interesting because it'll be nice to have a discussion with the high-level public servants, especially those within the ministries of finance and economic development, regarding those deals that are being made, how they felt, and were they even sidelined during that process.
I think events have conspired to make public servants very self-protective now, you know. So, you know, they kind of, you know, would not like. But we have another call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues. Doing okay?
All right. A couple of things. I must say that this carnival was a fantastic carnival. And everyone enjoyed themselves, except for the 43%ers.
Speak a little louder, caller.
Everyone enjoyed themselves. Everything went fluidly. There was no violence, nothing like that, but everything went fluidly. In reference to the discussion that you all are having there right now, especially with St. Jude's, it would be very. I've asked that question before, and I would love to know, especially from the Ministry of Health, the PS, and the audit department of the Ministry of Finance. What happened to all of the materials that Guy Joseph went and took at the people home? Where are those materials? Who was it given to? Who received those materials? Are those materials still available for use? Are they still good for you? We need something. We need to hear something, because there's a whole great holiday and great show on my TV with Guy Joseph with police officers, you know, going and search people up business places for goods that were supposed to, that was procured for St. Jude's. Where are those goods?
I mean, the second ORC operation retrieve containers.
And it will be interesting to know what names are on the warrant and who was the authority on those executions of those warrants. Who is the magistrate, or whoever it is? We need to know, because something when Guy Joseph was in no position at that time to go to the police to have warrants issued. That is the job either of the auditor or the attorney general. You understand? Because as far as I know, the attorney general signature was not on the document. So something is wrong somewhere. We need to know what happened to those. Because the same way that we're interested in two broken down buildings that buildings that were broken down by Guy Joseph and them, like first start. The same way we're interested to know what happened to, because when we finish St. Jude's, we need those equipment and whatever it is. We need them to go back in there. Because I understand there's some big washing machines and some old other things that was built for St. Jude's, and they all disappear. Some end up in a laundromat. You understand? We need to know other things. Now, the last issue. I was watching a show on Told Stories, and I am trying to figure out what's going on. After 8 years of silence, all of a sudden, you're coming on an interview on Told Stories to give a story about your story that happened 8 years ago. And you are trying to tell the host that you don't want to answer certain questions because there's an arrangement with the court that you don't talk about the case. But you want to talk about the case.
Yeah, just leave that alone, you know.
You just leave it alone. Just keep your mouth shut. And you could see that the host was trying to coerce answers out of him just to hear the name Richard Frederick and Joachim.
And Richard, and he said about ministers who were or members of parliament who were trying to mess him up. Richard Frederick was not a minister or member of parliament in that period.
But you know what has happened? What happened? If you notice the show, wherever you believe that Richard's name was being mentioned, it was censored. Yet the host still chose after the various comments to mention Richard's name, and it never came up in that thing. So
So we never know if his name was even mentioned, or if it's just
I don't know,
trying to plant something in people's head.
something in people's minds.
Yeah.
It's the same way with that so-called impacts report.
Yeah.
That this same media person is trying to do every time what our Richard is mentioned in the impacts report. The impacts report that we have is a summary thing of hearsay that this person said, damn man tell him is Richard that pays somebody to kill, and they never even mentioned the second name, you know. To say they never mentioned that it's a Frederick or a James or whatever, Richard James. Just you heard the name Richard and you assume that there's only one Richard it could be, and you go with it, you know.
Sheldon, one of these days we have to make an untold stories on Dale Elliott. You know,
we have to what?
These files are out there. We have to make untold stories about Dale Elliott because these files are out there. But
I just think there's too much to focus on right now. I think that thing was just a distraction from the euphoria of Carnival. And that was a wasted hour of my time.
I don't think we want to do the politics of personalities.
Yeah.
But we want to focus on
thing.
the issues. We want to let our people know what it is that the government is doing to better their lives, to make things easier for everybody in the country, and that is what we're going to focus on.
I'm just coming to that point.
Yes,
but caller, we need to give others a chance though, because it's 2:00.
But let me finish my turn.
Yes, let me finish.
Let me finish that call.
Yes. No. Finish the call.
Yeah. You were quite right in what you just said there. I think that we have the PRO of the Labour Party. We have the press secretary of the Prime Minister to put all those information out there. We have persons like ourselves to put information out there. But I am saying in my mind that enough is not being done by the persons who are inside of the government. I'm talking about the press officer.
To do what? To deal with
information.
To deal with what? With the Ubaldas thing?
No.
Because that's a dead issue.
To give St. Lucians. To tell St. Lucians and to remind them of all the good work that the government is doing. To me, enough is not being done. We are not, like Mr. Fernandez said, we are not selling ourselves enough. We, the electorate, we who support Labour, will do so on Facebook, on Instagram, and everywhere. But what I'm saying to you, have any of them tried to reach the people on Facebook or the people anywhere who's giving information to the public? Have they ever tried to say, well, I noticed that one is doing a lot of work on Facebook, and let me give him some information to put out. Let me do this and let me that. I mean, we can help you. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We can help you. So you have to reach out to people out there who's helping the party to pass on all the good works and the messages about the government. But if I don't get information, I have nothing to pass on.
At any moment you can be cut off if the lotto comes on, okay? Because once it's 2:00, the lotto comes to us live.
The Labour Party, the government, give people information out there to put, because we don't go try one hearsay or head out and see. We want facts in black and white. So we put it out there. We put it out. We'll be safe.
Let me tell you how you can help. There's a lot of information that is being put out, especially by NTN and that government website that has a WhatsApp group and so on. There's a particular guy called Vernon Jean. I mean, this guy is a powerhouse. This guy is dynamite in terms of disseminating. When you get it, my friend, just share it. Share it with other people and so on. Forward it and so on and do all of that. Because they are putting out, you see, between Rihani, Vernon Jean, Vernet Sintoma, and let me tell you, see Melissa Paul, the Prime Minister's press secretary, she's doing a lot of work in the background. She's not somebody who likes to come, who will come often. Hold on. Just hold on. With her face up there and so on, but she's putting out a lot of information and doing a lot of work. I cannot debate whether she needs to be out there more in terms of her face and her voice, but she's doing a lot of work. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was putting that point exactly. People need to know for a fact, because if I know that she's actually doing a lot of work on the inside, and then I wouldn't have people to call and say, she's not doing work. That's what I'm saying. But I just know I don't see her face. I don't know when last I saw her on TV, except the last time you got on a show. That's what I'm saying. So people out there, the other people out there, they don't see it.
Okay.
All
right. Thank you very much. Yeah, and like Miguel pointed out, it's always we have a good jazz festival. That CIP thing comes up afterwards, you know. In other words, I'm going to rain on your parade. Lotto coming now? Oh yeah, I have to rain on your parade because you're doing too good. You know, you come up good with a carnival, I have to come up with some kind of other flying the ointment to spoil it, you know, a gutted band kind of thing that you have to do and so on. And that is happening all the time. And we just have to see through it.
Go ahead. No, I wanted to respond because he went on and on. I actually wanted to respond to his point about the material and Operation Retrieve Containers, as I called it. The cost on the country for that, because these things would have been stored. The gentleman was being paid. He did not get. Was supposed to be paid according to the contract. He did not get paid. He's suing the state. How much of the equipment and everything now is usable? Usable. So now it comes at added cost to the state. So guy has gone and caused a whole. He's.
Caller, hold on for a second. Don't go away. You know, Miguel. That point crossed my mind. They're complaining about cost and how much Philip J. Pierre is borrowing. Philip J. Pierre is borrowing to fund a lot of the indebtedness that was entered into under the Chastney administration. And a lot of the legal liabilities that they incurred, the crazy way of just going and fire ambassadors and fire this and that.
$60 million.
And endless money is involved there. That government is continuous. The state bears, the corporate liability for it, so you have to pay it even if a different party is in government.
Exactly.
So a lot of what they're complaining about, they are the ones who created the liabilities and the indebtedness. We have a call on the line. The caller go, okay, Lotto is coming through now. We got to take it. We'll be back, okay? Don't go away, folks.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Thursday, 18th July 2024 were Double Daily Grand, 1, 4, 5, 10. Big 4, 8, 1, 5, 4. The Big 4 multi-expo drawn is 2x. Pick 2, 1, 9. The Pick 2 multi-expo drawn is 2x. 1 off, 0, 7, 1. Lucky 3, 7, 9, 3. The Lucky 3 multi-expo drawn is 2x.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. The man.
Everyone for staying with the real issues. We are in overtime right now, extra time I call it. Dr. Alison Jean, I see that you're calling me. Do you know that we're still on air and that if I put you on my phone that you're going to be heard live on air? Good afternoon to you, Dr. Jean.
Yes, Mr. Shelton Daniel, my classmate.
Yes, how are you doing?
I am good, thank you, and Mr. Fenelon and Mr. Miguel.
Good afternoon.
Shelton, I have to tell you that you're doing a wonderful job, and having these two gentlemen on that show, I mean, it just places more icing on the cake. So you build a cake, and the cake is very good, but the icing that you've added today is splendid.
All right, thank you so very much for that. I'm all smiles.
Shelton, I just had a discussion with someone claims to be a supporter of the Labour Party, but lamenting the weakness of the Labour Party's PR. And I had to say to him that I disagree with him, because people have a perception that if they do not see Prime Minister's press secretary, then the PR is weak. You don't have to see anybody, but you must hear the message. And the messages have been loud and clear from all different sources. You, Shelton, you give all information from all perspectives. From the time we wake up in the morning, we have Yadi and Jai. We have you coming on at lunchtime. We have Calix George Jr. on the other end. We have in the evening Richard Frederick. We have Anu Kose with Michael Gasper. And topping up, we have Lisa coming up with her show on a Wednesday night. And then we also have the Government Information Service and almost all of the news broadcast stations, whether radio or television, they give out all of the initiatives of the government. This morning somebody told me some parents did not know that the government paid facilities fees for students. I cannot understand that. Right? So I think we have to listen to the message and let's stop thinking that, we just have that rhetoric that the government's machinery, PR machinery is weak. Let's get the messages out. Because the question I asked him is, if they're using the electronic media and social media and the message is not going out, what other means can we use to get the message out?
Cora,
He cannot answer me yet. Yeah? But here, you know, you have this program there, and I listen to Mr. Fenelon, and he gets me so excited, Mr. Fenelon. You'd have to make sure that you put some money aside for me to deal with my heart. Because you have my heart racing while you're speaking. When you go back to the initiatives of Dr. Kenny Anthony and how it was just destroyed in the south of the island, and we just have eyesores all over the place. And now they want to come and talk about the Prime Minister borrowing and the government borrowing, but the government have to borrow for their wastage. I'm just driving up and down the Catchfish Rosalie Highway, and it costs you a whole hour for you to get from shop to Rodney Bay. Had it not been for their own termination of the Catchfish Rosalie Highway project under the QA fund, we would have had better, more travel roads. So, Shelton, keep up the good work that you're doing. Your voice is heard, both here and in the Senate, and I am here to support you all the way whenever you need to.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Alison. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good evening. Good afternoon, guys.
Yes, thanks. Okay.
One of the things you mentioned,
the calls are going to come.
Let the calls come. Let the calls come. We don't want to shut down the program.
I don't know why, this program, I was just on the verge of going to Dr. McDowell and telling him, people are taking the program on. And then, I got a suggestion from the most brilliant person who should know about enhance and this kind of thing as well, Anyway, we have another caller. Caller, good afternoon. Real issues.
Hi, good afternoon, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Shelton, you see you. Anyhow, good afternoon, Mr. Leon. Good afternoon, Shorty. And congratulations and happy belated birthday greetings and all of that. But let me tell you, I am so really very happy that you have chosen the path that you have for this afternoon's discussion regarding Dr. Anthony's foresight as a leader, okay? In that Dr. Anthony sought to ease the burden on us. Let me apologize for the noise in my background. I'm a little close to the road. He sought to ease the burden on us in the South regarding going to the civil status registry, passports, etc., etc. But what we are greeted with now is this monstrosity when we enter Viewport. I don't know how many people frequent there. I don't think they were thinking. I don't know that it is wrong to have given OASCO a headquarters in the South. I am not saying that it is wrong. I'm not saying that it is right. But I'm saying it has now put an extra burden on the elder citizens who wish to pay their bills. Okay? I pay your bill. I am using Shopee at the Library Credit Union to pay my bills. Because that is risking your lives. And I'm sure, I know that there was a lot of thought that went into the building and putting up that administrative center in that same space. It would have been with a lot more foresight, a lot more thought for the pedestrian and for traffic and all of that. And if only Alan Chasney, like you all said, had continued along that path, continued along that route, given us St. Jude, given us that, don't take the landfill from us, Alan Chasney would have still been in government today. But no, he had to punish Dr. Anthony, not realizing that by punishing Dr. Anthony, we are the ones suffering. Today, we are the ones who don't have access to the best farmlands in the South. Farmers have lost their cattle because of that decision to sign a deal with Theo Akin. Dr. Anthony brought in and he had consultations with with the people, the business community, those who would have been affected by whatever Teo Aking had planned. But no, we got to spike that man. Forget how the public would feel. And for that, he will suffer bigly. He has not even started. If it's for that he think he crying, he just got to cry. If it's for that he crying.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I have Bernard Haynes from New York on the line now. Hi Bernard, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shelton, the Honorable. Now I have to say Mr. Miguel, you know.
No, you were not saying that before?
Before was Miguel my partner, now I have to say Mr. Miguel.
Okay, all right, okay. If you are saying partner in it, that means you were not being disrespectful. Go ahead.
I was not being disrespectful. I would never disrespect Miguel, and he knows that. Also, good afternoon to the gentleman, Mr.
Fenelon.
I don't know much, but you know, he has been very inspiring in his conversation. Sheldon, what I wanted to say is that look, I live here in the US. Okay, I know what NTN just said about the government today. I know about the numbers in Carnival over the past 2 days that have gone. I know so many other things. I was in a conversation with somebody concerning the St. Lucia Labour Party and the slogan about the victory.
Protecting the victory.
Protecting the victory. And the gentleman was saying, when you protect the victory, it is for your own supporters. And I said, okay, well, if it's for your own supporters, we did not choose the people at the comprehensive school level to pay the CXC for them. We did not choose who to give laptop. We didn't separate the labor from the flabo. So if you say protecting the victory is for laborers, these children who we give, we do not know where they come from. We do not know who are the parents. We give everybody. So the protecting the victory cannot be just for labor. It has to be for everybody, and it is for everybody. Sheldon, I do not know. Let me tell you. You see that thing about you, Balder? You know, I don't know about that at all. Because you know why? I don't listen to the programs that talk about these things. I listen to NTN. I listen to Zafenu. I listen to Richard on the first day. I listen to the real issues every day of the week. That is what I listen to. So I know what is happening. I make myself, and if something bypass me, I call the right people to tell me, look, we did that. Piece of our policy came out today, and this is what it's all about. This is what I do. I listen to Lisa Girard. That is what I do. So I know what the government is doing. That thing we have of saying, by our PR. Let us not give legs to stories that the flabo is putting out. You see, they come out with their thing, let them talk about it. Let them be the only one. So if I don't know, and they have programs talking about what we do, well, which means that I'm not listening to what my party is doing at all. You see? And so I want us as labor people to start changing that mindset and start looking for the information, start listening to the places that dispense the information of the St. Lucia Labour Party, so we too can share. When I get into conversation with people, I tell them nothing more than what the St. Lucia Labour Party, underneath the leadership of Philip J. Pierre, is doing. Period. And that's it. I have nothing more to talk about because I do not know what anybody else is doing but what the St. Lucia Labour Party is doing. And from a distance, when I speak to my people, whether it be flabo or labor, I try to convince them, I try to talk to them, look, this is what we have done, and that's it.
Okay.
So we have to dispel that thing. Okay. And Shelton, one thing about the Prime Minister, I'm telling him, please call the elections as close as possible to July 26, 2026. So Bernardins can be a participant. I'm making that public.
Okay. So are you saying that if you finish the hospital, let's say, next year, and so on, that you should wait until July 26, 2026?
Sheldon, let me say this.
Konsa l'hôpital la fini. Konsa l'hôpital la fini. Ou ka vote yo coup de balle la boy.
Let me tell you. I know Biden is not good to be a president right now. I can see that. It didn't have to take the one debate to tell me that Biden is not right for the election right now. But Biden has done a lot more than a lot more presidents has done. Okay? But I mean, if that is the one issue I think that I cannot stand Biden for at this time because of his age. I don't think he's the right person. But even if Biden didn't falter at the debate, that one debate would not change my mind and vote for Trump, you know. So I'm just saying that to tell you, the one issue of the hospital, yes, it has been a thing that has been a sore on political parties. They have to cure it and it have to be done. The Labour Party has to finish the hospital. No two ways about it. And I know it's going to be done. But you know that one issue is not that alone I'm looking at. I'm looking at people are very happy. Sheldon, and people are very happy for Jazzy's returning. The people who are complaining about it are enjoying it. Yes. I'm looking at people enjoy. I'm not a carnival lover. I don't follow it. I'm not watching it. But guess what? The numbers I saw that came out.
Okay, but the signal and signature project that has been given that it will be committed this term, and Richard has said if it is not done in this term, he's not standing for elections again. So I am saying this is the year of infrastructure. We know the roads and all that will be done. But the signature one that was promised that it must be finished is the hospital. So depuis l'hôpital la fini kakadlo ka pon yo. Okay? Yo ka commencer ka on toi blood ka pon yo. All right. All right. Okay, thank you very much, Bernard. All right. Thank you very much. And you know, now that we mentioned about the hospital and you have been looking at the things Kenny Anthony did, universal healthcare, that's where it started.
That's where it started, yes.
That was the kernel and the germination, you know, of universal healthcare, you know, where once you had the dual maladies of hypertension and diabetes, you know, your healthcare, your medication and all of that was free. You understand? And then what you do, you mushroom and they're growing it out from there. And it is taking its legs most now under this new government of the St. Lucia Labour Party. What did they do about it and so on?
So you never forget where it started.
Hospital built already, you're mashing up what is there already, you're building box that nobody knows what is the purpose, how it will be utilized. We have another call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues, how are you doing?
That's a kuyo pudo or the 10 years na kuyo.
The way?
Ou pas ça fait moi. Espèle toi la ligne là. Là fini ouais pour l'autre. I don't go away because Maradisa. Why for a lot call? That's a Maracuyo go up with the now.
Because okay. You come down to town to tell me you're not coming down to town today. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, dear Shelton.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Who said where are the university without walls? SSU school, Tilamale, Pittsmart University, Tilamale. But pride commerce sir. Ek mwen la se ba la mwen pride commerce wa, mwen pa vle fè même mistake la des fois. And one of the things I believe that I have done in my life is to grow. Not grow, not move on. And Labour supporters need to move on. That's how you know Labour supporters are the first to disseminate to get this from the
That's true.
Pas pour essayer la faute moi, pas pour moi. Go send it on my phone. Go parle way. Go parle technique. There are too many things that we're supposed to talk about that we allowing these people. And some of the people that are disseminating these things. I'm not sure in politics. And they should understand distraction. I will not be a part of the distraction, my brother.
Thank you.
You see things that is right. Comment matin, le me lever, pas ça me gâcher. But pour moi, dernière fois, nous avons une belle canal quoi, de la Labour de power. Et qui laisse quoi, that's it. Comment matin, dit tu as sur ça. And that's the fact. We were the last time the people, the patriotism was being preached to the people of St. Lucia. The Labour independence. We had fantastic independence celebration. Let's say vous avez là, you croise like $500,000 fireworks. Ou quoi moins, somewhere, gaspiller somewhere, etc. My friends are there. So we must not disseminate these things. Man, I mean about untold stories. I don't want to know. I'm not interested, my brother. I'm not interested. There are too many things. There are too many positives where everything Philip JP touches, then Philip touches, turn to gold. Even Boog, they attack Philip JP and Calypso and you don't pay. You don't pay the cent. That's Saint Philip, pas JP. So what's the word if you try materialistic là, ou pas ça y faire? You pas même faire semi-finals. Who realize that Shelton? Don't play the cent. Everything Philip touches, turn to goals, my brother.
Even ginger ale.
Macan engagé en disant by bon.
Miguel dit juste ginger ale.
That's what I like. When I shortage ginger ale. Where j'ai 26. Now we renew for moi encore. Now we be a flag nest. Now we be a flag rouge nest. Now we renew for moi. Avec Labour Party. Tous les universités na renew for moi. Now we be a flag nest. Ça va fini hein. Pas dire mon une flag gavo if to. Mon ça mon la mon stereo. Comme match folie dans ça doza. Ou pas passer ça mon ba ça. C'est mon flag moi, ma mais ça attaque. In spite of the issues, the hiccups là ni avec team moi moun ba ici là, moi like Philippe. I'm telling him. And defend me say when my mania the security service là venu devant Trump, ko moi ex Philippe. Moi like Philippe ka protéger. That's why I am. All it. Philippe JP, my brother.
All right, thank you very much. Hi, Shelton. I trust all is well. What is the acronym? Well, it's not really an acronym. MSME stands for? Well, it stands for medium, small, and micro enterprises. Okay? So MSME, medium, small, and micro enterprises. Glad that I could be of help. Someone is inquiring about a road somewhere in PI that they say they live at the back there, and it is back of where Dr. Kenny Anthony's mom used to live. I don't know if they believe it should be given
468-4300. That's the number for the Department of Infrastructure.
So all right, 468-4300.
And you could ask for the complaints department.
Okay,
and you shall be forwarded there.
All right. He said, I'm watching now. I see you have Miguel on the show. I hope he will touch on my road for me. So I had to tell him, Miguel no longer works with infrastructure several months now, but of course he still has the information. So 468-4300, and has to be put through to the complaints department, okay, and tell them about it, okay? All right, so I hope that information is useful. Good afternoon to Mr. Victor Girard, a very resourceful gentleman.
Mr. G.
We are former cabinet secretary, permanent secretary, Home Affairs, former controller of customs, among many other distinguished posts that he held during a long career in the public service. And he says, the quantum of debt left by Allen to be paid by this administration should be published. I don't mean debt approved by Parliament. All right. Thank you very much for that. I think that's a good suggestion. Another Wilson says, by the way, Comrade Shelton, Terry, and Miguel, on the matter of the V4 Administrative Center, we must tell the people that millions of dollars would have been saved in the pockets of citizens of the southern economy if Shasney had not stopped the construction of the Administrative Center. I think this point has been made already. All right.
I just wanted to make just a quick point, and it's not that significant to it, but to what Frank and your previous caller said. I've reached a point where I remove myself from even the environment where I have to interact with, I wouldn't say flubbos, but people who bring up those stupid talking points that you see the United Workers Party bring out. Now I remove myself from my environment because
toxic people.
Yeah, for me it's common sense. I tend to get annoyed very easily now. Right. I will sit with Terry.
The United Workers Party is not contributing to any elevation of discourse in St. Lucia. There is a dumbing down of things. It's all triviality. It's all petty. There's a lot of ad hominem stuff, from the people who you think or the impression has been given that they're the ones who now essentially control the party's communications and PR strategy. It's all about trying to body shame people. Exactly. Pictures of Shelton Daniel to show how fat and how absorky and how bululu he is. Maybe he is. But is that the talking point that a major political party wants to push forward? It's all about, going after people on whether they're ugly and whether they're nice and this kind of thing. Now, you all mentioned something about leadership. You may have certain enthusiasts and people who have their own agendas of pettiness or little hoods that they're carrying, and they want to use whatever roles they're playing to pervade. I can come on this program and there are people I don't like, and I use the program to take little digs at people. But in what way am I helping to elevate the programming of MBC? You understand? You know, the faith that has been put in me by Dr. McDowell and Nigel Nicholas, the station manager, for me to come here and do that. But at the end of the day, this is where I say leadership matters. Shelton is doing that. Dr. McDowell, Nigel Nicholas, whoever else it is, they should show some leadership, managerial leadership, to call Shelton and say, Shelton, look, man, you said that you yourself brought in the program real issues. Is that a real issue to go after who missing their front teeth and who doing this kind of thing? You know, that's where leadership is. When you see a leader allows the people who are supposed to be under your direction to go off half-cocked all the time on a frolic of their own, you understand? It's all about their personal gratification, and the personal gratification always has to do with the belittling and the humiliation and the disparaging of somebody else. The problem is not with the operative, it is with the leader. Leadership matters, and there is a lack of leadership which has led to a considerable dumbing down of the public discourse.
Yes. That's an amen.
Thank you. Gentlemen, I leave it to you all now to decide.
I'm going to say piggybacking on what Frank has said there. So, I should not have called his name. Okay.
Yeah,
he's all right. Frank has a phrase that I like, you know. He's posing that to the UWPs. Show me your path to victory. Because on that path you're on there, that path of calling people names, you know, ad hominem attacks, and you can't convince anybody for that. You're not telling anybody anything. So what we have to do, gentlemen, based on that, you see the politics of personalities. I mean, I will not waste an hour listening to you, brothers.
Yeah, you know.
An issue that was dead.
I wasted hour. I thought there was...
No. I mean, that issue was dead. You resurrected that to shame your wife. I mean, come on.
I will not do that.
I will not do that. We have to make a pact, gentlemen, that from now on, we have to control the narrative.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, Shelton?
Yes.
We have to control things, set the pace. We have to highlight, and we're not going to leave it for anybody. We all can do that. Highlight what it is that the government is doing. Let me just maybe prick on something there. And the goodies, I need to get a laptop there because right now I have to be scrolling. I'll get it there.
It looks like the bifocals are
already. Just, you know what I mean? So many things. Can I share a little thing with you?
Tell me.
I think it was.
It's with me. You're sharing it. You have to bring.
Yeah, bring the voice down.
We don't want Miguel to hear what
you say.
We don't want Miguel to hear what you say.
We'll call them.
Mr. Gerard?
No. Female.
Alison.
Okay.
She talked about people do not know about the facilities fees and the paying of CXC. Sheldon, and I have an issue with the parliamentarians. In the House, just say that. We pay facilities fees. And I do not think they understand the impact. Let me share a little thing with you there. I was in the office. I can't remember the day, Monday, Tuesday, because I don't work for a clock. There's no clock where I just... And this lady worked in a little groceries, the supermarket. Just coming to graduation time. Now, if you know the secondary schools, only 2 times you collect money. When you come in Form 1 and when you go in Form 5. Because if you're going to graduate, you want to be in the principal's party. You want to pay all your debts.
Yes, all of that. Your gown and all
everything.
Of that. Yes,
and then what you owe. And this lady came in. Son is in Form 5. And you could see, she asked for the bursar. He was not there at the time. He wasn't being in school business. So I indicated the secretary, sent it to me. Mommy, how may I help you? And Shelton, she began, because in Form 1, because the struggle in Form 1. Once you pass Form 1, you have to pay everything. But 2, 3, and 4 difficulties, even for 5. So she knows that she owes and she has to pay because graduation, believe it or not for the students, that's for the parents. Shelton, graduation is really for the parents. The parents are more.
That's right.
That's theirs.
Yes.
The children are just wearing it, but it's for them.
Yeah, they glow with pride and with,
and she realized, she owed and stuff, and she sat. And she said she came to see what she owed so she can settle for graduation. And Shelton,
When they told her?
Yeah, because she knew, and she sat across. And I looked at her and said,
"You don't owe anything.
You don't owe anything. The government has paid everything for you."
Close out and see.
No. You know, at first she thought
that you were joking. Yeah.
Yeah, so I said, no. And this and I was, the Prime Minister has ensured that all children that's paid for. We can't accept anything from you. She looked at me a little stunned. I said, yes. Your debt is wiped. It's clean. You owe nothing. And Shelton, the lady bowed her head. You know what I mean? Because it was a struggle for her to be saving to come and clear that so her child can graduate.
Yes.
And I had to tell her, Mommy, no, you're in the clear.
Yeah, don't bother about
because the government has taken care of that for you. Shelton, that I must admit that I brought a little joy to me. Because, you know,
to see the relief.
That's first-hand view of the impact.
Yeah, but that's not all. I have a big man cry for CXC. They had no money. We were able to help in the other, but Marfan English, a big man, he had two daughters in my office. Big man. You see the impact these little things. And I heard somebody and Yadi this morning say these things don't matter. And I was like, you've got
Shelton's
to be
best friend.
kidding me. And you know, a big man, man to man now, man to man. And I'm telling bro, you're in the clear. Really. You know, the English and math, and I got somebody else to take care. And Shelton, the tears.
Of joy that you know it, and relief that comes.
You know, I just reached in my desk, some tissue paper,
and helped her.
And he looked at me, and you could, I mean, the impact. Now, these are just two little stories, you know. I have more, you know.
Yes.
But I don't want to bore the public. And you know, when you stand up in Parliament and you say, we pay facilities fees, and we pay English and math, and you move on. You're doing yourself a disservice.
Exactly.
You need to get the testimonials.
Yes.
Because that has impacted a lot of poor people.
Yes, and for
positively.
For example, a lot of people don't understand the difference in family budgeting for when a tank of cooking gas would have cost you $16 more or $19 more than what you're paying. That is a tremendous savings because the government is subsidizing the price of it for you. What it means, those 20 and 22 pound cylinders, that means a lot for a lot of people, households and so on, you know, and to do that for them and so on is no small thing. Where you want to come and you want to play petroleum politics all the time about the price is $16.50 and they've cut the price of $16.50.
Man said he put $900 aside to get a laptop for his daughter when she went to secondary school, and boom, they tell him laptop is free.
You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
You know what I mean? That's $900 that now you can redirect and repurpose to other things.
And I need to talk about the e-books versus this laptop thing, you know. Yeah. Because I've been in the belly of the beast.
Yes.
You know, the e-book. You know, anymore. I need to rest because some of the things you get.
You know what it means. You have to come back.
No. But the walk is on the 25th, and we have to talk about the good things. No, I mean all between that.
The walk is on the 25th, but we still have 13 days, 2 weeks left in this month and so on, and how many left in the month?
We have a topic for every.
No. We look. You know, I pull up some of the goodies the government has done there.
Yes.
That was before.
You know what I've been suggesting, and I think we need to press it upon those who are in a position. I have been saying, and Miguel can bear me out on that we need to have something where we collate those things in a very coherent, in a very single kind of document that can be updated, a PDF thing and so on, to show the accomplishments of the government. You don't need to wait until the final manifesto just before election.
That's right.
What you need to have, I am saying, is an ongoing manifesto.
Ongoing, and you know, at every anniversary you've done, you have everything compiled
to show where you have exceeded the promises and done things that you did not even promise. You know, you need to have those things, and then, you know, you show people with pictures the progress of your hospital, the progress of your airport, what you have done, this, that, and the other, and so on. Problems that were created that you have resolved.
Too many good things. You see, the small things matter. And they're life changing, and we just gloss over that as though, well, that's nothing. That's significant for a doctor earning how much money? But for the little poor lady in the supermarket, man, that is a gift from God, so to speak. And you cannot gloss over that. So, I mean, I have the personal experience, but these things, I don't want to share people's personal business, but I've seen the impact, the positive impact that these things have made on people, and we need to talk about it. So, coming down from Kenny, Doctor, I say Kenny.
Hey, wow.
Sorry, when I say that, it's a term of endearment. Right down to the present PJP, and we could see the continuation, the foresight, the leadership, and we have to highlight that.
We shall.
Yes. Gentlemen, I think
we're way over extra time.
I'll leave it to you all to wrap up. Who takes the wrap up? Miguel?
Let me go first, and I'll leave it to you.
Go ahead, my brother.
Okay, let me just say.
Not much to say.
Okay. We're already at 2:30.
Yeah, sorry about that. So let me wrap up. Let me do it quickly.
So it's about 3 o'clock you finishing.
No. I will. Yeah, when you give a principal a mic, it's a problem.
Go ahead.
Shelton, we have to be on our guard. You see all these lies, misinformation, disinformation, propaganda coming from UWP. Don't think it is just like that. It is a strategy.
Yes.
Cambridge Analytica looking for something to stick. The 680 gas, we did not do enough to defend Dr. Anthony.
Too many people were of the view that, and they used to tell me that, man, don't worry, these fellas, man.
Yes.
People will judge the Labour Party on its performance.
Right.
No, not when you keep bludgeoning the brains of people with lies repeated and uncontested.
Right. So that 680, we were running after it. That already caught on fire. We couldn't douse the flames. Okay? That thing about not built to international standards, that's why we have that box in review for. And now, the new lie, the thing that they have, the $1.4 billion in CIB, they want that to catch because that's a frightening number. But let's see 1.4 billion here, embezzle that, and where the funds?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have to be ahead of that. All right, because if we allow those things to catch on, if we don't combat those things, we're going to be running behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, because what they want to do is to take your gaze off the fact that they have gone and associated themselves with a criminal.
Right. Yeah. But
with a jailbird, a guy who's been jailed in America and in France. You have gone and you have aligned yourself with him. So now what you're trying to do is to criminalize a government minister here in St. Lucia to make it look that somehow he could have pulled off a heist on our treasury of $1.4 billion. Not even in the financial vastness of America can anybody get away with pulling off that kind of
our entire GDP.
So we have to be mindful, and we have to take everything head on. So right now, we have to make that pact. We must control the narrative.
Yes.
And we're going to combat every piece of misinformation and propaganda.
Agreed. Now, for me, not much to say, but since we didn't get to it, I just like the public, your viewers and listeners, to ensure they listen to the news packages, the respective news packages tonight. We will see the announcement from the Honorable Nsile about the visitor arrivals in June, normally the slowest among the slowest throughout the year, and look forward to the coming months. We're going to head figures for Carnival, and I believe they're going to be out of this world. We've had a record arrivals in June, and I anticipate record arrivals for July. So let's look forward to those announcements, and we can for sure see the economic impact of all those arrivals. The guest houses, the Airbnbs, hotels occupancy was at capacity, nearly 100%, 97% in majority of the cases. And I think that the Philip JPR government has been doing well so far. In only 3 years, we've accomplished, and I say we because we are a part of it. We each have our part to play, whether it's been doing the PR or ensuring that we are responsible citizens, and we go along the path that the Prime Minister and the Cabinet have set there for us. Unlike what existed 2016 to 2021, I think St. Lucia is on the path. We're already at a level of progress, but we are on the path to the promised land.
Okay, thank you very much, Miguel Favre, and also Terence Fenelon for being my co-host today, and I hope that it is something that we will have with a degree of regularity going forward. The audience, our publics, on the Facebook Live and the radio, the television, they greatly appreciate you, and they say so all the time. Thank you so very much, Jaquan, for doing another great job at the controls and with the calls. Facebook Live people, I didn't have time to get to you, but you know how it is, the time between the calls and the discussions. But I know you mutually support each other and uphold and reassure each other, and we are grateful for that. We are family after all right? So until tomorrow, same time, from 12:30 until 2 p.m., on Real FM Radio, NBC Television, Facebook Live, and also live streaming on YouTube for The Real Issues, the last one for this week. Shelton Daniel signing out on behalf of everyone else.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.